Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody out there? Thanks a lot for tuning in on this Friday night. We got a heck of a show lined up for you tonight. Lots of cool stuff coming at you. We do have a special guest lined up tonight. Should be a really good time. We got a UAPedia Tim coming up. He's going to tell us all about his new project he's working on. Have a little UFO talk and some fun stuff coming here for you. As always, we do have up here with us tonight our token philanthropist, the lady who only hangs out with us because she likes hanging out with the poor. She writes us off on her taxes. How you doing tonight there, Gutters Pub?
I'm doing awesome. Can't wait to get this night rolling.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. With us, as always, as well, we've got our token mad scientist ready to shock the world here tonight, show us how to blow some stuff up. How you doing tonight, old man Builds?
Dude, I'm excited. We're talking UFOs. I'm going to show a little plasma. We got this thing going on.
Showing some plasma and testicles. That should be a lot of fun. And with us here tonight as well, we have our token studio recording country music sensation, KJ. How you doing tonight there, KJ?
Hey guys, happy Friday. Woo woo. Excited about the show. Let's get it going.
All right, as long as we get that woot woot, that's all that matters. So yeah, folks, we're going to get this thing going here in just a second. Sit back and enjoy. Let me say hey to some of you fine people already coming in here, and we'll see what's going on. Who we got in here? We've got coming in, we have already Matt Dummett. Matt Dummett always coming in first. Good to see you there, Matt Dummett. We got Dispatch Center. What's up, Dispatch? Good to see you, brother. Let's see, Gumby coming in here. Good to see you, Gumby. We have our buddy Lou Sasshole. He's got a really cool name. Thanks a lot for being here, Lou. Let's see who else we got coming here. Big Barney Ross. Big Barney Ross says the last time I had faith in the news was when it was with Huey Lewis. Oh, that's actually the first record I ever bought, Big Barney Ross. Turtles Records. Bought that in the Rocky IV soundtrack. What a great time. Well, that was a day or two ago. Let's see who else we got coming in here. We got Over Underrated. Good to see you, Over Underrated. Shout out to you. Flatty in here. Good to see you, Flatty. We've got Y Greaves. Y Greaves. He says, hello all. Good to see you in here. Hope I said your name right. Old Man Builds hanging out in chat. Good to see you in there, Old Man Builds. We got Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Good to see you, Daniel Berry. Ready for some fun football coming up. Can't wait for that. Big Dog Ma. What is up, Big Dog Ma? Good to see you as well. Let's see. Still scrolling down. We've got Robert in here. Good to see you, Robert. If Beer and Back Roads was a person, good to see you too, brother. As always, if I missed your name, did not mean to. We'll be saying hey to people all night. But yeah, welcome in everybody. This is streaming out to a bunch of different platforms here. We're live on X on my channel. We're live on X over on Old Man Builds as well. We're live on YouTube over here at Traveling Fools. We're live on Old Man Builds YouTube. We're also live on LW's YouTube and Gutters Pub. So no matter where the heck you are watching this from, we appreciate you being out there. Please, everybody, do make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It does help the stream get out there to wonderful people just like yourself. So that being said, we're going to get this this show started.
You're listening to the ASN Podcast Network.
All right, and here we are. So thanks a lot, everybody, for being here once again. Everybody have a good week out there. Is this going good for everybody? Good work week. How about you, Gutters?
Yeah.
Did you get anything done?
I did. Got a few things done. So it's a win-win.
Tells me I don't believe you. Okay, well, they're probably working on campers or something like that. What about you, KJ? What did you get done this week? Anything cool?
Well, I'm alive, my kid's alive, so that's good.
Heck yeah. Well, there we go. Feet above the ground. That's always a good thing. It sure does beat the alternative. Yeah. What about you, old man? I guess you got your buddy there staying with you this week, so that's probably pretty fun. I imagine y'all are having a good time.
Oh yeah, the crypto optimist is going to be with me for 2 months, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna take some trips out, man, and go to Tesla Tech, the guy that runs that, and go see him, see all the cool stuff he's got there, man. Do a bunch of road trips to see people about Tesla coils and stuff like that. It's gonna be awesome, man. And we're gonna do a lot of alchemy, so just normal chemical science, and then we're gonna get into a bunch of high voltage and stuff. And I'm gonna go on and do a live show, man, for probably about 4 or 5 hours, just lighting everything in its mother up. So it's going to be exciting, man. It's a good couple months.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some of the projects that the two of you come up with together. I mean, it's kind of like the combination there. It's just I can see the sparks flying already. I mean, I'm excited to see what kind of stuff y'all blow up, basically.
Oh, yeah. I'll show you how to light up a Tesla coil with a burrito.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Awesome.
Nothing better than that. So, yeah, we do have a guest joining us here in momentarily. But first, back by popular demand, I do think we got a couple little segments we want to do here, covering basically, I guess, like the latest news of the week and things like that. I think, KJ, you got something you want to talk about as well. Gutters, you too. Gutters, you want to lead us off?
Sure. I sure
All
can.
right, take it away there, lady.
All right. Well, oddly enough, scientists have finally cracked the code on auto brewery syndrome. Yes, it's actually a real condition where your gut bacteria ferments carbs into literal beer. So inside your body, you eat a sandwich and suddenly you're legally drunk. No bar tab required. So I thought that was very interesting. The researchers have just pinpointed the exact microbes and pathfinders responsible, meaning we now know why such unlucky people get hammered on pizza while their friends stay sober. One expert quote is, "It's like having a brewery in your intestines that never closes." So, very interesting. Police departments are reportedly considering breathalyzers labeled gut edition. And, well, wedding planners and, So already the wedding planners have carbs optional menus. So I thought that was quite strange.
You know how you can tell the difference between an oral and a rectal breathalyzer?
The taste.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like that's in there, So on top of it, in a related health news, roasted coffee might help control blood sugars. Well, let's be honest, if your gut is already brewing IPAs, that latte is just adding hops to the party. I mean, there ain't no really, So stay hydrated, folks, and externally at least. And this has been your Abbinormal news break. Gutter.
I like it. Good job, Gutters Pub. Good job. Look at that, coming in there with the news break there, talking about getting drunk from eating sandwiches. That's going to be the death of me right there. I think that's what's going to happen is our friend Gypsy's going to finally slip me that sandwich, and it's going to have a Mickey in it, and I'm going to be drunk by the time I get done eating it. So
Right.
That's
Well,
funny.
usually doesn't something else happen after they slip you the Mickey? It might be a great night. You never know.
you do never know. Never know those.
That's when the thermometer gets inserted. That's
Right.
what happened.
Well, might be one more reason to call it Mickey.
Yeah.
Hey, Mickey, you're so
Taking his
fun.
breath at the wrong end.
Oh, geez. Hey, big shout out there to a new buddy of mine coming in here into the chat. The Guild. Went over there earlier and was checking out the Guild's channel. Super cool, telling like ghost history, ghost stories, stuff like that. Really cool guy. So shout out to you, The Guild. See you coming in here. Super cool to have you in here. Any of the mods want to drop the Guild's channel there, that'd be super cool. I suggest y'all go over there and check them out. Super cool channel over there. Really do like it. So I'll go on ahead and go now. We'll see what we got here. I did look up some of the latest news here that we got coming out. I'm going to go on ahead. We're going to go ahead and rip through the last 6 days of crap from January 10th to the 15th. USA politics that's stupider than usual. NFL, NCAA football fails that make you question evolution. World news weirder than your browser history. That one goes for you, KJ. And arrests so dumb that they deserve awards and movie buzz to distract you from reality. So here we go. Politics. We'll jump right in. We've got politics coming up first. Why not start with the clown show? We've got President Trump signed a bill shoving whole milk back into school cafeterias on January 14th. Oval Office bash with a milk mustache selfie that screamed desperate for likes. He called it a win for real American nutrition. But let's be real, kids are going to chug it and puke rainbows anyway. Memes exploded, whole gains versus skim scams, while health nuts whine about arteries. Who cares? It's dairy drama in a world gone mad. Next, we got Tariff Tango coming up. Trump is talking about giving out a dividend check for $2,000. Maybe by the late 2026, I think. Fans are screaming free cash while haters yell inflation trap. Picture this. You get a check, but your imported socks cost an arm and a leg. Economic edging at its finest. Let's see. We got other people going on. The economy people are sitting there bickering like divorced parents. Iran's on the line. Trump allegedly said, cool it, no bombs, after Arab bros mediated diplomacy or dodgeball, and his schedule jammed with Kristi Noem chats and Stanley Cup photo ops. White House still the best reality show on television. On to the NFL. We've got all kinds of stuff going on there. Football time coming up. NFL serving more face palms than touchdowns. Terry Bradshaw's Fox rant. A verbal train wreck that left Michael Strahan gasping. What the fuck happened? Bradshaw babbled like a glitchy AI on bath salts. Fans scream, retire, old man, but memes, pure chef's kiss. He's the poet laureate of nonsense. Troy Aikman got verbally curb stomped by a 49ers player post-Seahawks win. Troy, shut your booth hole, they said. Brutal. Jameis Winston confessed on the Kelsey pod. Well, imagine there's a Kelsey pod. How horrible must that be? He bought a second crib for celibacy practice during prime season. Real estate celibacy, that's either monk-level dedication or the lamest boner killer excuse since headache. All right, coaching carnage. We got the Ravens axe John Harbaugh after 18 years. Is he a GOAT or a GOAT? Plot twist incoming. Sean Payton on Broncos offense. We didn't hold back. We just blew chunks. Honestly, so raw it hurts. Playoff reminder. Lone wolf quarterbacks. Recipe for failure. Peyton who? Yeah, we'll see how that goes. College football chaos going on in the transfer portals. A horny flea market on crack. Closed January 16th. Commitments. Wake Forest Melvin Siani to Texas. Oklahoma's John Mader. Loyal for 2026. NCAA rules. Tweaks midweek, shorter windows. Total bedlam, coaches cry, players swipe right like Tinder pros. Indiana's college football program, a rampage, smashed Oregon 56-22 in the Peach Bowl semifinal. Leading into our week, eyeing greatest ever crown versus Miami. Heisman's hero Fernando Mendoza slung 5 touchdown. Teams balanced like a drunk on a tightrope. Miami's Ruben Bain lurks, but Indiana's a scrappy mutt we love to mock if they flop. Portal premium skyrocketing. Quarterbacks cost more than your ex's therapy bills. Colleges NIL whorehouses now. Texas sniping Jordan Seaton. Sarkeesian's Frankenstein squad is rising. All right, moving on to world news. World weirdness coming at you at its best. Greenland's a journo mosh pit after Trump's buy me vibes. Hacks swarming Nuuk. I guess that's how you say that. Nuuk. I always hate that word. Like locusts on acid. Locals frame sequel sucks. Denmark's PM frets. NATO fallout. Ice cold power play, folks. Side hustle Hall of Fame. UK's dad banks 30,000 scooping dog turds. Poop tycoon. Filthy rich. Literally. Sports oddball. Cryptic cup. Glued to jersey. Mythical BS for all you crypto clowns out there. Aussie Open Tennis Tees Center. Sweetanat Coco. You know who really cares about that? Not me. All right, Venezuela's military Muppet show post-Maduro. Trump's in the mix. Deals shadier than back alley poker games going on, folks. Who knows what we're going to get out of there? So I'm jumping in here. We got some arrests that will make you choke on your coffee. Walmart, for TikTok glory, live streams his ass. So a Walmart, or a TikToker in Walmart, trying to camp out 18-year-old Isaac Hurley. Camps in Walmart for TikTok glory. Live streams to jail by midnight. His IQ may be room temperature in Celsius. In Texas, a gym coming out of there. Dude bolt from narcotics sniffing horse. Okay. Cops joke flies over his empty skull. Caught anyway. Horses sniff hay, moron. Florida Encore. Action flick. Wannabes escape stunt. Backfires like a wet fart. We get a Tempe in Tempe. A thief crew crushed in Operation Sneaky Santa. We've got a pink Barbie Jeep at 3 miles per hour. Busted for toddler level evasion. Cincinnati twins. All right, here you go. Coming out of Cincinnati. A girl with MAGA girl plate. Okay, her plate says MAGA girl. Draws car dents via shots. Politics or karma. She blames it on other people being too obsessed with politics. And she has MAGA girl on her on her license plate. So I'm good for her there. In the movie thing, not a whole lot coming out. We've got something called Obex. I don't even know what the hell that is. Let's see, Young Mothers, The Love That Remains, Love Lost. I don't want to steal KJ's thing, but we do have Star Trek, Starfleet Academy Warps in January 15th on Paramount Plus. If anybody subscribes to that, Lord knows I don't. So there you go. There's your weekly news wrap up. What I could find the cool stuff coming out of this crazy world. All right, there, Old Man Builds. Take it away. What you got for us tonight?
All right, I want to show you guys some cool stuff here. So I deal in self-circuited plasma. So that you no longer have to put it in a donut shape and waste your time. So here we go. I put a video up for you there. And basically what it's going to show is that the plasma structures on its own. And what it forms is a ball right there. And on the outside of it, you see the line right there. That's the field line. And on the pink part right there, it's forming another part of the plasma ball. But on the opposite side on the top, it's showing a real dark ball up there. So it's showing that there's equalized pressure going through a medium like the sun. So it builds out exactly how the sun builds out in temperature and plasma and everything else. You can see the little thing in the back there. What we're actually doing with it, this is the field technology for all your UFOs. So when you get into this, it creates O3. And it'll actually put an environment inside the UFO structure. It'll create the plasma that goes around it, that creates cold plasma that's just like the outside of the Earth. And it'll basically build you your own environment inside of it. So we'll be able to build warp drives now from this technology. So that's
there we go.
cool.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, that's absolutely fascinating there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have another one if you want to see it. It's
yeah, definitely.
My head's still trying to wrap around it. Like my brain's still like, okay, wait, don't go too fast.
So basically what this other one is what we're looking at. If you pull it up, it actually grows dimensional structure like snowflakes. It's the other one. So if you look right at the bottom of the arrow, it looks like somebody's growing some chin hair or something. What it actually comes out to be is like a snowflake structure. And it shows you how that we can take plasma itself and transform it into actual structure. So we can build out crystalline structure out of it. So when you get over to crystals and things like that, we can build all of that. We can also build some, I don't want to say it, not graphite, but some very heavy material in there that we can make on the outside of a craft. You can see how far it's grown now. And then I will have a...
oh, wow.
Yeah, that's really
crazy.
cool. Now, is this something you're doing, right?
Yeah, this is something I'm doing with all the guys that I work with. Myself, Sean, Joe, and also the Crypto Alchemist. We're doing all this stuff. We're able to build it out here in our garage, and we're way ahead of the plasma people that do this stuff. It usually takes them, a day or two to grow this stuff. This happens in seconds when we do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually really fascinating right there. Now, let me ask you this: how hot does that get?
We're looking at about 5,000 degrees in the center.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the crazy thing. The rock that you see it on and the part where the energy comes out, the anode, will be perfectly cold at room temperature as soon as you turn it off.
Oh wow.
So
you could definitely light a cigarette from that, right?
Oh, when it's on, yeah. when
Burn
it's
it
on,
up in about a half a second.
yeah, when it's off, you couldn't light your cigarette for nothing with it.
Right. That's awesome. No, that looks super cool, man. I can't wait. I think it's not next week, but the week after, you're actually going to come on here and do some demonstrations for us, right? Like live demonstrations with a bunch of stuff. Isn't that the plan?
Oh, yeah. We'll do some live demonstrations. You're going to see me put my hands in water with about 70,000 volts in it. And it won't affect me one bit. I'll be able to separate oranges at distance and be able to turn things on.
You're not gonna do a James thing
Oh
on
my
us, are
gosh,
you?
are you
Right, he's gonna
serious?
start howling. He's gonna start making those James noises.
That'll be awesome.
Right. If you do, you have to promise to make the same noises that James
Oh
makes.
my God, no. I promise you it will not be a James thing. It'll be 100% real.
I miss James.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. What the hell, man?
I miss James.
Oh boy, he got us so much help. Sweet Jesus, that was a lot of fun. All right, well, that's super cool. You got anything else for us there, old man?
No, that's it for now. I just want to show you guys that. That's kind of some of the small tip of the iceberg stuff I work on besides my Tesla coil. So.
No, I like it. That's super
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I can't wait for the week after next when we actually watch some live demonstrations. So what do you got for us there, KJ?
All right. I'm just going to talk about some entertainment series. I don't know if people binge watch. I don't know if you guys do. So, but I do while I'm cooking or whatever. And one thing on the HBO, which so Cat House came out in 2005. I don't know if you guys ever watched it. I didn't. I had no idea. But there's a series called Bunny Ranch. So that's been interesting to watch. It's about some perv named Dennis Hoff, who has some brothels out in Nevada. And he had an HBO show called Cat House, and now it's a documentary. So I love documentaries. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know if anyone in the chat has seen it.
What was that on?
It's on HBO. Yeah, HBO Plus. Bunny Ranch. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. But Cat House, I'd never heard of. I don't know. It was pretty.
Nope, never been
It's
to
kind of
one.
like a Playboy bunny, but skankier. So, you know. And Landman, obviously, that's huge right now on Paramount Plus, with Billy Bob Thornton, who, he's awesome. And Sam Elliott plays his dad, who Sam is like, ooh, hot. Even at his old age, it's like, go Sam. But that's a great well, okay, so I don't know. We'll see. Have you seen it? Old Man Builds? Landman?
Yep.
Okay.
Roadhouse.
So Allie, Demi Moore's in it. Allie Lauder. There's some beautiful women in it. It's a pretty good show. There's some females in it that it's just so annoying. You have to. I'm sure the guys love it. But have you seen it, Gutters? Landman?
No. Oh, yes.
Okay.
I have. And Marvin's actually stuck on that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's huge right now. The oil, the oil drills and all that stuff. Which Billy Bob's great. As long as it's Billy Bob and Sam, I'm watching it. You know what I'm saying? And Mayor of Kingstown is also on Paramount Plus, and I personally love it. It's about the prisons in oh my gosh, where Kingstown. And Jeremy Renner, who is one of the Marvel dudes. I don't know if you guys know who Jeremy is, but anyway, he's so good. And it's a great series if you like series and you like prison stuff, and it's really, really great. It's got the mom from Sopranos, which is Edie Falco, and she's on the second. Am I on the second or second season? And she's just so cool. It's really good to see her in another series because she was so good in Sopranos, and who didn't love Sopranos? It was like one of the best. I love it. I still watch it. Anyway, so that's some series, and this last one might make you cringe but it's from TLC, but it's also on HBO right now. But it's the 1,000 pounds.
Let me is that like the
TLC channel?
waterfalls or something?
Don't go. No, it would be cooler if it was. No. But the TLC channel. But 1,000 Pound Sisters with
Lord.
Amy and Tammy. I don't know. I love it, dude. Like, they're so real, and they don't get they started out with a YouTube channel, and just these huge sisters with their YouTube channel, and now they have their series on TV, and it's really I followed them. Tammy's lost like 550 pounds. Wow. Seriously, it's crazy. And they're just a real family. The brother's probably my favorite on the show. There's 5 kids. They grew up really poor. They're really funny. Like it's I don't know. I love it. It's a great series. If you don't like that, 1000, there's all those shows, but this is the one I actually like. They're just hilarious and, whatever. I love it. So anyway, that's it. Some series, and Stranger Things. I haven't seen the new one that's out. I don't know if you guys are into Stranger Things, but I love it. But it's really, Stranger Things. I got to watch the last, season. So I got to check that out. But if anyone has, anything about that, that'd be cool because I do love Stranger Things, but anyway.
They lost me at the end of the first season. I just couldn't get into the second one.
Oh, man.
But, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good job there, KJ. Last thing we're going to do, then we're going to bring our guest up, UAPedia. Let me know that you are ready to come up. Just go ahead and cam up there, and we'll bring you up here in just one moment. But we do want to talk about, LW's not here this week to do This Week in History, so I just threw something together for us on here. A lot of cool things did happen this week in history. So kicking it off, we had January 10th, 49 BC. We had Julius Caesar crossing the Rubicon River with his army, uttering the famous words, Alia Iacta Est, or as we say today, the die is cast. It's probably loaded dice. Then wasn't just a casual stroll. It sparked the Civil War, toppled the Roman Republic, and paved the way for Caesar to become dictator. Imagine if he'd chickened out. No Ides of March, no Shakespeare's play. Definitely no excuse for that extra crouton in your salad. Caesar was a sly dog, teaching us sometimes that you've got to cross that river to conquer the world, or at least get a good dressing named after you. So staying on January 10th, fast forwarding to 1776, we had Thomas Paine coming out, drops his blockbuster pamphlet, Common Sense. This bad boy sold over 100,000 copies in months. And that's way back there in 1776. That's viral before viruses were a thing. Paine basically roasted King George III, calling monarchy a scam and urging Americans to dump Britain like a bad ex. Without this, the revolution might have fizzled out over tea taxes. If Paine were around, he'd probably write Common Sense for doom scrolling and save us all from the endless cat videos. Thanks, Tom. You made independence sound like, well, common sense. Let's see, still on that fateful day, January 10th in 1863, the London Underground opens, the world's first subway system. Gaslit, steam-powered trains chugging from Paddington to Farringdon. Talk about a steamy, hang on, gotta flip my notes here. Steamy commute. Victorians packed in like sardines, coughing through the smoke, but hey, it beat walking in the rain. Fast forward 160 years later, and Londoners are still moaning about delays and that one guy eating tuna on the tube. So here's a pro tip for all you travelers out there. Skip the first ride unless you enjoy smelling like a coal mine. Mind the gap in historical hygiene. All right, here's one more for you. We got let's see, Augustus from zero to emperor here, jumping to January 16th, 27 BC. The Roman Senate crowns Octavian as Augustus, kicking off the Roman Empire and ending the Republic. This guy went from Julius Caesar's adopted kid to the first emperor, renaming a month after himself, August. Duh. It's like winning the ancient lottery, power places, and zero turn limits. If Augustus were on X today, his bio would read, illustrious one, founder of empires. DM for conquest tips. Moral of the story, good PR can turn a Civil War winner into a god emperor. Bow down, MFers. All right, here we go, wrapping it up. January 16th, 1919, the 18th Amendment is ratified, banning booze in the U.S. and launching prohibition because nothing screams freedom like outlawing happy hour. All right, so cue in all the speakeasies, moonshine mishaps, and gangsters like Al Capone turning crime into a cocktail party. It lasted until 1933 when everyone realized sober America was no fun. Lesson learned, you can't prohibit human nature. So here's to the roaring 20s. They roared because they were thirsty. All right, so without further ado, let's go on ahead and bring up our illustrious co-host coming up here tonight to tell us all about his great projects. It's UAPedia. Tim, how you doing tonight there, brother?
Hey, thank you. Great to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Good to have you here. So yeah, we'll give you the floor here. So tell everybody about yourself. Tell everybody who you are, what you're doing, and so nobody's lost.
Yeah. So before I usually talk about this project, I have a small disclaimer just to state that UAPedia is not involved nor associated with any government, non-government, NGO, or other contracting agencies. We are completely independent, and we are community supported. So after this chat, if you feel so inclined, you can, contact us and potentially join our community. But yeah, what we're doing at UAPedia is we are the world's first expert-created AI-assisted encyclopedia dedicated for unidentified anomalous phenomena. So now that we have the tools to be able to gather content, source content, verify content at scale, we're able to put this together. So we're really standing on the shoulders of a lot of researchers out there, a lot of people who have spent time looking into this. Most specifically, who I like to always credit is a guy named Jerome Clark, who has around a 750-page UFO encyclopedia. It's been around for a long time, but with AI and other tools, we're able to stand on his shoulders and do a lot more out there. So our goal is to create trust in this environment, because spend a little time on X, spend a little time on Wikipedia, try to look around on the internet, use ChatGPT on your own and find out what happens. You'll find quickly that you'll be steered in sort of a traditional mindset and knowledge base. You'll find a lot of misinformation. You'll find a lot of gate-kept databases. And what we're trying to do here is have really an open source, one sort of ground truth for what's happening within the phenomenon.
Yeah, that's really cool. So explain to people now. So I was checking out your site actually about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, when we were looking at it. So explain to people. So you're stockpiling a lot of data. Is from what I can see, a lot of things like that. Elaborate on that a bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've created a table of contents. Just think about an encyclopedia. That you used to have. I don't know, I might be dating myself, but encyclopedias used to be volumes and volumes that sat on a shelf somewhere collecting dust, right? And so this is a modern version of that. We have a table of contents that's around 45 pages long. And so we're working through that diligently, verifying, applying our claims taxonomy and our speculation labels. We're verifying all of our sources, and we're putting together entries or articles that include multimedia. Sometimes there's images, sometimes we're linking over to video, but we're really trying to be sort of that discerning voice. Again, a lot of misinformation cycles. What we're trying to do is be steady Eddie and have really a trusted source of information in a modern encyclopedia style format.
Yeah, that's really cool. You remember the days, like you speak of encyclopedias and you say you don't want to. Now, we all are 39 on the internet, so we have decided that. But, the days of encyclopedias, like back in the day, when you would be, every time I'd ask my mom something she didn't know the answer to, she would look it up. That was like the deal. You would go to have to do a book report or, like a paper for school. You'd have to go and know the Dewey Decimal System, check stuff out, do all that. The internet has just changed the absolute world. And, that's a wonderful thing, in a lot of ways. A lot of ways bad, those damn cat videos. We won't talk about those. But yeah, hey, let me real quick here, real fast before we get back to that. I do want to say hey to a few more people coming in. We got Christy Sullivan coming in here. Good to see you, Christy. Who else did I see coming in here? We got PJ. Good to see you, PJ, in here. Mr. Duggar Fishing. Good to see you. Anyway, Song. Good to see you as well. We got Tombstones in here. Good to see you, Tombstones. Scrolling down. A lot of different people. Robert. Good to see you, Robert. We got Johnny coming in here. $10 super chat saying, from conspiracy theories to history lessons, never a dull moment. Good to see you, Johnny. As always, brother. Thank you so much for your support there. Let's see. Anybody? Yeah, I don't mean to skip anybody's name. Welcome everybody to that are here. We got this streaming out to about 8 different platforms. No matter where you're at on, please make sure you have hit that thumbs up button, and we really appreciate each and every one of you being here. So, Nathan, what kind of questions you got here for Tim?
Well, are you guys staying away from Stephen Greer and Alessandro, all those people, or are you guys jumping right into them?
Yeah, we have entries on both of those guys. You'll find case files. I know those guys are really can be controversial, but they're meaningful people within the UAP and phenomenon space. So we're covering all that. We're not really discerning between that.
So you're holding nothing back from them. I ask because they're the disinformation people. You get on there and they show you an egg. They show you the boogosphere. They tell you that they have no idea how this stuff works. They won't even crack it open. Are you interested in debunking any of that stuff, or are you just kind of flowing with it?
Yeah. So what we have is a claims taxonomy, right? What can be verified? What can be validated? And so when it comes to controversial figures, there's always a section in there around the controversy associated with them. Certainly, Lou Elizondo has a lot of controversy. Certainly, Stephen Greer has a lot of controversy. They've also pushed the narrative forward and played key roles within disclosure. So we include them. But you'll find, biographies on a lot of different people. We just published one on Art Bell, which I know we're a huge fan of. All of us are a huge fan of. We publish case files on a lot of the biggest cases out there. We do historical reviews. There's all different types of entries that we have within the database, but we're not here to really, exclude. We're here to discern. Like, what did Lou claim and what's verified? What did Greer claim and what's verified? What's hoax? What's folklore? What's legend? What is misidentified? So that's our stance. We're trying to take a look at what's available, what is out there, what has been said, what has been written in books, what's been documented within government documents, and we use those witness testimony and what is verified, what is validated, what is a hoax, and what is misinformation.
Okay, do you guys look at the old files, T.T. Brown, Otis T. Carr, any of those things in there in your files?
Yeah, we have a biography on T.T. Brown that we just published. Who was the other one? I might have to add that to the list here.
Otis T. Carr built the Otis CX1.
I'm writing it down, man.
Nathan here, he's been working on his own anti-gravity machine, trying to figure out how that works. So, that's pretty cool. I think, you were talking about you had some thing coming up where you were trying to get people like that. I think maybe y'all need to collab on that. Maybe that would be probably pretty cool.
Yeah, the propulsion is a big part of what we cover. So, and it's a big part of the table of contents that we have. So we're digging into that. I haven't mentioned, and I'm going to, is that UAPedia is sponsoring a free online conference on January 25th. It's called UAPCon. Everybody heard from, all the government officials from Age of Disclosure and the documentary by James Fox called The Program. This conference is with academics. So we're bringing in the president of the Institute of Noetic Sciences. We have Rizwan Virk, who wrote the simulation hypothesis. We have Paul Hynek, who's the son of J. Allen Hynek. We have doctors JJ and Desiree Hertak. I'm going to pause here on doctors JJ and Desiree Hertak. If you don't know them, look them up. They have a really incredible story and are involved in space law and a bunch of other things. So they're on the panel. And so we have this summit and conference scheduled. So we're going to talk about, the nature of reality. What can we discern from reality? We're talking about experiencers. We have Whitley Strieber. We have Jeffrey Kripal from Rice University, who has the Archives of the Impossible. We have this woman, Kim Engel, from the John Mack Association or Institute. And then the third one is around implications. So if this, we all agree that this is true, the government has said it's true, we have all this evidence. So what are the implications to society, to culture, to spirituality and religion, and ultimately to science? So we're sponsoring this free event. You can register online. It's on a Sunday I'm in California, so it's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. A little bit later for you guys on the East Coast. But yeah, it's a free event. So we're really trying to, again, move the conversation forward, have a trusted source, all this, and the propulsion. So we're planning on doing these quarterly, right? And so the next one, we're looking at bringing in scientists and propulsion experts along with some journalists and and folks in media. So we're planning on doing these quarterly right now and hosting them for free to build, awareness around UAPD and the work that we're doing there. So yeah, let's talk. And I loved your videos. They were, I don't know, high voltage electricity and high heat, like that freaks me out a little bit. It scares the crap out of me. I don't know. You seem real brave to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not that bad as you think it is. You remove most of the amps out of it. One of the questions that comes up in a lot of this stuff when they deal with the fields and stuff is the amount of energy that it's going to take to lift something. And people say like 1,000,000 volts, 1,000,000 amps. We all know that you couldn't live in that condition. So they're obviously not using that.
Right.
Did you ever hear anything when you guys pulled all the information together about structuring fields, coupling fields in order to reduce the amount of energy put into it?
Oh man, I wish. There's folklore around this, right? It's not really verified. There's the Bob Lazar element 115, right? Are you familiar with this? Where the stable version of it creates the warp bubble around a craft so it can move through time and space and mediums, effortlessly. And then there's, you have folks like Hal Puthoff and Eric Davis who have written extensive papers on advanced propulsion methods. You do have T. Townsend Brown, and you have, of course, some other folks involved, but those are the gist of what's available right now, and a lot of it is just theory and not validated.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's going to change very soon.
I'd love to hear other people's thoughts. So tell me what you think. Who should we include, and what are we missing, and that kind of thing.
I'll tell you right now, the first person that says that you need 1,000,000 volts is the guy that they're out of the room, because he obviously doesn't know what he's talking about. So just so you understand, building field bubbles fairly easy. You could do it from the inside out instead of the outside in. It's just basically just like the plasma you saw, but you have to build it from the inside. And it takes the understanding of structuring things and making them in a coherent fashion so they self-structure in plasma. So you hear a lot about the Schwinger limit and how do I bake the Schwinger limit? Well, you don't do it mechanically. You have to do it through gases, or you have to do it through plasma. And the only way to get to there is to make this field. And it's not propulsion. What it is a gravitational field. It's like building cold plasma around the Earth, okay? We all know it's there. You all know you can structure it. But if you don't put the fields close enough to each other, you'll never get there. And it's kind of like it's a bunch of rocky surfaces on the inside of the bubble. And in order to get that smoothed out and make a laminar flow, you actually have to squeeze them and compress them. And once you do, it builds a field on the outside of this craft, which will allow it to pull the energy from the environment to work in there. If they don't talk about entropy and how entropy works, they didn't build it. So you can tell right away it's complete disinformation if they don't, because it's required. You're creating a couple of capacitance with the environment itself. It's like taking Tesla coils and just taking the number 2 coil by itself, putting it out 3 feet from your main source, and putting 6 of them in a circle. You're coupling capacitance in the air, so the main driver should go down to 0 volts is where you should have it. And they should all still run because the energy stays in the environment. That's field coupling. If someone doesn't understand field coupling, they'll never build the bubble. So I wrote a paper that added on to another paper that had to do with warp bubbles. And it talks about time and gravity being emergent from the field. Instead of it being something that's already known and stuff, because the math doesn't work, they can all tell you in any kind of thing they look up in the way they do their physics, but you'll find that the math never works unless it becomes emergent, and then all the math works. So it's basically the sum of all of its parts builds the field. So in anti-gravity, you first must build the bubble, okay? And once you do that, then you can build the propulsion afterward.
Okay, man, you're booked. We're gonna have you in the next UAP Con. I love this. This is great information. It's
yeah, he is our token mad scientist. Yes, he definitely is.
Yeah. Are you the one out collecting the brains from Abbinormal? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. That is definitely him. Now, KJ, let me ask you. So we would like your scientific input onto this topic,
Oh,
there, KJ.
come on. As soon as he's like, who's going to, I'm like, my eyes got big. I'm like, hell no. I have no idea what's happening right now. But I'm taking notes. I'm doodling.
Yeah, I do want to say real quick, at the top of my chat there, and I think I've got it pinned up there as well. I think Gutters had posted it over there. Nathan, if you could do that as well.
Yep.
I've got the link to UAP Con, and that is also the link to UAPedia. I think if you go there, you will find both as well. But I do have that link to the top of my chat. So I do encourage, I know I signed up for it, I think 2 days ago, I did sign up for it. Very easy going there to UAP Con. It's basically just give your email and they are, how are you doing that? So I'm not sure, you explain that.
That's exactly right. You put your email in there and we'll send you a link a week, a day, and the day of the conference, and you can click on that and you just join for free. I will tell you guys, we just got this confirmed. I'm meeting with him to kind of go over the speaker details and whatnot, but Jeff Nuscatelli is going to be opening the conference. If you don't know Jeff, he's a U.S. Air Force veteran. He testified in front of Congress. He was one of the people that testified last. So he's going to sit down with a fireside chat with us to talk about not necessarily, nuts and bolts and government disclosure and all of that. We feel like that's been done in a lot of ways. What we want to talk about is, now that you've had this experience, how has it changed your life? What happens to you? Because the ultimate reason that we're doing UAPedia, and I'll talk a little bit about the community I'm involved with, is as an entry point to high consciousness. So we feel really strongly that if you've had a supernatural experience, and there are lots of different types of supernatural experiences that can lead you to a high consciousness state, that you need community. And so I was one of those people. I had a bunch of experiences that I couldn't explain. It kind of, it pattern matched to other people's experiences. And so I found a community here we affectionately call the Consciousness Club. And so this is a group of people. It's around 80 people. There are, scientists in there. There's PhDs. There's a number of psychics. There's a number of authors. There is documentarians. There are, just interesting people who've had interesting experiences. There's sound healers. It's great. It's I know I'm in San Diego and I'm a little bit biased towards the woo, but for me, after having these experiences, it was really important for me to find a community of like-minded people. So this UAPedia, UAPCon is a way to create community around, high consciousness. So when I talk about entry points, I won't bore you with my slides, okay? I won't do that. It's the first time I'm here. I won't call up PowerPoint slides. But I will tell you, it's really everything from, it could be...
We do appreciate that, by the way.
I want to hear about an experience. That's what I want to hear from you. Can we hear that?
Sure. So I'll tell you one that I think is kind of the coolest. So when my daughter was 5 a few years ago, she came home. She was walking down the street, sunny day here in San Diego, and she said, "Dad, these coins fell on my head while I was walking down the street." I looked up. It was a blue sky. It was a sunny day. This is so weird. But she was 5. She was 2 doors down at the neighbors. And then a week later or so, she's coming out of the garage, and I'm standing there, I'm like kind of getting her, like, come on, hurry up. And I was from here to, about 5-6 feet away. And sure enough, coins fell right out of the sky. They fell on her. They landed on the ground. We picked them up. I looked up. It's just the drop ceiling in my garage. There's nothing there that could have fallen from. And she goes, it happened again. And so you look into this, and this is a real thing. It's called apporting. You can apport materials. Materials can be apported. I know it sounds woo until the universe brings you to your knees, but it happened right in front of my eyes, and that's just one kind of minor experience that's happened.
Yeah, that's weird.
Was it? Yeah, that's interesting. I come straight to Marvel, where that actually does happen with Doctor Who, right? They port, right? I mean,
yeah.
Just saying. Right.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I mean, people call it pennies from heaven. You know,
I was going to say that.
it's a real thing. Yeah. So
Pennies from heaven.
yeah, and I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you know,
I've never
I was
heard that.
pretty 3D back then. I was sort of not really, you know, I come from really a corporate background. You know, I thought that psychics and mediums were charlatans, and that Houdini's, you know, test was proving them all to be, you know, frauds and fakes. Until, you know, I listened to my mother's psychic reading after she passed. I got these tapes of her being with a psychic, and you know, the kind of things that were said on there, just you know, things about me, things about other people, you know, and then I've, you know, now that I'm friends with psychics, actually, there's a psychic friend of mine's having a party tonight. I'm not going, but you know, the kind of things that
They probably knew that. They probably knew that already, though, right?
I don't really have to send a text, do I? But,
right, exactly.
but yeah, there's been a lot of experiences. I had a couple near-death experiences. I was someone who was exposed to psychedelics at a very, very, very young age. And I was someone who I've seen things in the sky and in the broad daylight with witnesses that I could not explain. So I've had a number of experiences.
I remember those days. That was that was a long time ago. College was fun. I saw some stuff too.
Yeah, I
Let
was
me
like
ask you this.
14.
So San Diego, do you do any like surfing?
I do. Yeah. I surf today.
Okay, cool.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. I've got a good friend of mine. He lives there in San Diego. He keeps trying to talk me into coming out and going surfing out there. You know, and every year I get older, and I'm like, God, I need to do that again. But yeah, it's been a while. So
Yeah. I'm in North County here in Encinitas, so it's a hotbed for the woo woo. You could throw a rock and, you know, hit a ayahuasca circle around here. I mean, it's
So what is woo woo? I don't
What
want to
is that?
sound
What is-
ignorant,
yeah.
but yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, sorry.
I'm a South Florida redneck. I have no idea what that is.
I'm sorry. Yeah, let me back up. So, you know, all this stuff that people tend to laugh at or make fun of, you know, it's the woo woo stuff. It's the stuff that, you know, if you're, you know, a card carrying, you know, materialist, it just sounds crazy, you know, until, you know, you witness it firsthand. So the woo is all the stuff that, you know, people don't believe in, basically.
Yeah. Yanks used to call it woogity boogity.
Yeah.
It's like
Woogity
the
boogity.
woogity
Woogity
stuff.
Yeah.
KJ, we are outnumbered by West Coast people right now.
I'm feeling it, bruh.
I'm definitely lost in all this talk.
Well, that's because the West Coast is the
know.
real time. You got to remember that.
Yeah, y'all are on
East Coast
fake
time is
time.
mine.
We are not having it. Okay, so Tim, I got a question I have to ask you. So every one of our guests that comes up here onto these shows that we have, we do have to ask this one question. Either answer is, you know, there is no right or wrong answer, but we always do like to know, did we or did we not land on the moon in 1969?
Oh, I love this question so much. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to plug a friend of mine's. I'm going to tell you guys a story. So I went for a surf. I grabbed some tacos. No one was in the house. Okay.
From a street truck, right?
Well, it's actually from a gas station, but
Okay, cool.
Oh, man.
You
Period.
just lost California woo-woo points right there. So
so I come home, you know, and I may or may not have used my medical card or whatever. And then I sat down. I didn't know what documentary to watch. I was going to watch some UFO stuff, right? So I click on this one. It's called Secret Space UFOs, and it starts off a little slow, and then it gets into all of the archived, all the NASA archives about going to the moon from the very beginning before they really knew what they were doing. And so my feeling is that the moon is a head fake. The moon hoax is a head fake. They did Kubrick. They did, you know, they put out all this misinformation. So you would think that they could not go to the moon. And that's the conspiracy. But the real conspiracy, if you watch this Secret Space UFOs, the filmmaker is Darcy Weir. He's a friend of mine. He's a Cult Journeys on X. He's a really great guy. He's despite being Canadian. But he that documentary freaked me out. It scared me in my own house. Now, it could have been whatever, but I was a little paranoid, whatever. But I was scared because the implications were based on what the archives have, that they went to the moon, and when they went there, they found life. They heard songs on the back of the moon. They had a nickname for when they would see ETs or non-human intelligence. They would call them Santa Claus. You can look through the actual transcripts that they had, because they didn't know what to expect when they got there. So did we go to the moon? Yes. Is there a moon hoax conspiracy? Yes. Is the moon habited? It could be. It's not 100% verified or validated, but there is. Is
it hollow?
That's one thing that happened to you. You're aware of that, where they dropped.
Yeah. Dropped
one of the boosters, and it rang like a bell.
Yeah.
There's other things too. The moon math is very, very strange.
The math doesn't line up with any other moon, any other planet. I like the things where you go back and you look at ancient cultures, and there's a lot of them. I think one of them's like the Zulus, and a lot of these old cultures have the old tales of life before the moon, which I think is really fascinating. Right. Where and it brought in, and there's many ways to look at that. Maybe our atmosphere was just denser then, and gradually cleared, that causing the great flood, the younger dry, all that kind of stuff like that. Or was there a time before the moon and that caused the younger dryas because the moon came? I mean, there's many different theories to look at there, but I love them all. Yeah, we don't necessarily believe everything we talk about, but boy, we like talking about crazy shit.
Wait, okay, but because I partake in the same medical card that you do, that I don't have, but because I don't have to, but I forgot. Did you say that did you explain the radiation belt? What do they call it? The Orion.
Yeah.
Did you explain that part about how we get through there?
No,
going to the moon.
I don't. And look, I do want to double down on what you said. Right, we can hold these ideas in our minds and not believe them. Right, or we could hold them in our minds, and it's like Schrodinger's cat. Right, the cat's dead and it's alive. It could be true and it could be false at the same time. So I really enjoy that. That's why I'm doing that's part of the reasons why I'm doing that.
Yeah.
The guy who promotes that, I can't recall his name off the top of my head. This radiation belt as a reasons why they didn't go. I don't have a counter argument for that. But I know that there's a lot of misinformation around the moon.
Okay.
Well, one of the biggest
man
things
with no answers but knows. I know. I am the man with no answers but knows. That's what an encyclopedia is. It's a bunch of answers that you don't really know.
One of the things I always look at with the moon landing is that hunk of junk that they took, all wrapped in aluminum foil with duct tape all over it, and that somehow or another they convinced 3 morons to put them into some goddamn rocket with a bunch of gas underneath it, shoot them up into space, and they were like, oh yeah, and then we're going to get into this, drop out of the sky, land this contraption that looks like something that, a 12-year-old built out of, duct tape and popsicle sticks onto the moon. Then you look at the lunar buggy thing, and it's like remember those old 1970s chairs that, everybody had, those beach chairs, and those are the seats for it. It's got these weird little antennas. You got Nixon sitting there talking on telephone. I'm not saying whether I believe we went or we didn't. The older I get, the less I believe, though. It's like, wow, what? Really? Yeah, so it's interesting fun.
Yeah, it's it is. It's one of those things that we're going to find out.
Do you think we ever will, though? I mean, the government hasn't ever told us anything, so at least anything truthful.
There's a lot of evidence of structures on the moon, and I think you probably know this given your question, but the soil on the top is older than the soil on the bottom. As you dig, the soil gets younger rather than older.
Right, which is totally unfathomable. That is like impossible.
Someone put that the Van Allen radiation belt varies during solar minimum periods. I'm just reading the chat, but
here's that hunk of junk we got in front of us right here on the screen. Imagine somebody sitting there and they're like, "Hey Tim, So I got an idea. We know you're a good Air Force pilot and stuff like that, but we want to go on ahead and promote you. Oh, wow. What am I getting promoted to? We're going to put you into this thing right here, fly you up into space, and then you're going to drop out of a rocket and land this thing onto the moon while Michael Collins floats around and goes to the dark side and hears a bunch of scary shit. What would anybody in their right mind say? He'd be like, hell no, I ain't getting in that.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like there's only like the sign that says free candy on the side. Like,
Oh no. Oh,
That's the dark side of the moon, Gutters. They didn't land it there.
like
that's bad.
where's the van?
Check this out. Very cool. Oh, I love these graphics. Yeah. Yeah, we haven't done a whole section on the moon yet, but it needs some attention for sure.
Well, what they don't take into account, I'll tell you this right now, is the Van Allen belt. They talk about the radiation, but they don't talk about what kind it is. And this is the important part. When you do hot plasma, you get into a hot reaction, right? So you get what you get in a nuclear plant, which is very bad in radiation. But when you get into cold plasma, that actually changes and will grow plants in your yard twice as fast or 3 times as fast. So when you deal with what kind of radiation is the Van Allen belt, it's cold plasma radiation, which means it's completely different radiation than the hot plasma you would think it is. So they don't even have that right. So
Well, explain that to me. Okay, dumb it down like I am, just an absolute
No, not
moron.
like he is.
Dumb
We
it
are.
down like
Just
how we are.
Dumb that down for me.
Okay, so if I wanted to take this radiation on my Tesla quad, just put a simple rod down the center of it, put it into the ground, put it into the water table, and it would expand all the energy around it because it's radiation, right? But you would think, oh my God, that'll kill everything in the neighborhood. The exact opposite happens, and it has to do with structured water. Instead of it structuring it tight, like your blood vessel or something, it'll open it up. And what it allows for is everything to flow faster through it, so it grows faster. So you'll get plants to grow 3 to 4 or 5 times the ability of it, and it has to do with the radiation. So what zone we're in right now is we're in a cold radiation zone. So when you go outside, you're not harmed until something pushes upon your ionosphere and pushes it into you and creates a hotter plasma inside. That's when you get problems. But we're in a safe zone right now. Think about the amount of voltage it took to create the plasma around the Earth, right? It's in the trillions of voltage, but it's not harming you right now. So therefore, the radiation is different than it is when you're standing next to a reactor or standing next to a core. Completely different. So when you go through the Van Allen belt, it didn't hurt them at all because it's a different kind of a radiation altogether. It's not the same thing that you think it is.
Okay, now my brain hurts and I don't want to talk about this no more.
Gutters now feels dumber.
No, I love that. I love that so much. Thank you. For
I know you guys do, but my brain hurts. I swear, you just dented the side of it.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
I'm really a
Look at this
researcher
side
more
of
than a scientist.
Well, we could talk about aligning your chakras. I could tell you all about that.
Oh gosh, here we go. Can we start with purple?
No, just tell you how resonance works, man. We're good.
Funny.
I don't think everybody realizes how this world actually works, and
I
they're
don't.
fascinated when they find out
No.
that your body is built on resonance, and the fact that your lungs and your heart and everything beat in there, you have a frequency that goes on between all of them, so you're aligning them together in order to create a uniform resonance throughout your body. And that's what gives you the ability to do more things. And it's like, why do you say crystal and everything heals and stuff like that? It's because literally when you put it in water, it has a frequency, a voltage, and
Is he
amperage.
talking about the birds and the bees? I feel
No.
like there's
Let me tell you about the birds. And
I'll just slow it down for you.
Here we
It's
go.
good for you.
All right, getting off topic again. Here we go. Now we're back
Sorry.
to this talk. Leave it to Gutters for
Sorry.
all of a sudden we're talking about brothels and no, that was KJ. But yeah, who knows what the hell's going on in here anymore? Back to UFOs. So we did have an interesting question here in the chat. Let me try to find that. Big Dog Ma coming in here, and she wants to know, Tim. She says, "Did we discuss Area 51, and does Tim believe in it?" So, Tim, what is your thoughts on Area 51?
Believe in it. Well, it exists. It's there.
Right.
You can go look at it. Well, from a distance, at least. There's a lot of you know, yeah, I believe in Area 51. I think that they're
Well,
doing.
and I think her question is, yeah, not that it exists, because we all know it exists, but do you believe, so what is your thoughts on Area 51? What did they find? What are they covering up? I think that's more of a
So
question.
the Area 51 thing came about because of Bob Lazar primarily. Bob Lazar came out and said on Las Vegas TV that, they have UFOs there, and he took his friends there to go watch them fly around at Groom Lake. And, and he also shared that he worked at a building called S4, which all of this was classified. No one knew any of this existed. He talked about how the reverse engineering, crafts there, and that's where really the folklore was born with Area 51, and why the whole town now, the whole town is that's nearby is, I was trying to think of the town name, I can't remember, that is all UFO and alien themed at this point.
Yeah, they've got that really cool, I guess it's like a restaurant bar right there outside. I really want to go there.
Yeah, it looks like a UFO. Yeah.
Yeah,
right, that would be
it's
cool.
Roswell, which is
Yeah, I think that is Roswell, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Roswell, is interesting because that was the 47, landing with biologics and all of this, and it really triggered a bunch of things within the government, the development of the Air Force and the CIA and all of that kind of thing. The moon is around 250,000 miles away.
So it's 250,000 miles?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Look at this place right here. I would love to sit down right there. Look, I like the way somebody even drove like a green, line. Like who the hell would go out and buy a Mustang that color? But it does match the place. That's what's absolutely amazing. That's super cool. I'd love to go sit down there and have
you guys seen that documentary on Storm Area 51 where they?
I was about to bring that up. So how about those morons that all got together and they thought they were going to storm Area 51? It's like, oh my god.
Can we
They don't mess
clarify that the
around.
Mustang's yellow, though? He said green. I just want to point out.
It looks like a fluorescent yellow or green. I mean,
It's yellow.
Yellow. You said it.
well, I might be a little bit colorblind, but go on ahead and pick on the disabled
Dudes
over
do
gutters
see,
as you normally
they
do.
see different.
Okay,
I
Anne
swear.
had a question. Can we go back to Anne's question? Holy moly, this.
Yeah,
Chat's
sorry, the
moving.
chat was moving pretty fast. Is that this one right here? If we this one?
Something about.
If we went to the
recent.
moon, how come we never came
No,
back?
no, Anne.
Mm-mm.
No.
That says Anne.
Yeah, not her. Not that one.
Oh well, let's not snub this question.
No, go
and
ahead.
how Croft.
It's the
So,
same.
Does Tim believe
Woman.
that there is a spaceship in Greenland? Is
Yes,
that
Okay,
that
wait,
one.
wait. Let's move to that one first.
Okay.
So Anne,
It's the
on this
same
question,
person.
Anne, on this question, if we went to the moon, how come we never went back? Now, according allegedly to our government, we went to the moon 6 times.
Yeah.
12 men have walked on the moon. 6 U.S. flags are planted on the moon. I think they still only played 1 hole of golf. But yes, they say we went back 6 times, but those all were back to back. And, I guess they lost that technology. That's another thing. So, Tim, I'll bring this up. One of the funny things I always think that makes me go, goddamn bullshit, when we talk about moon stuff is they say all the original footage of the moon landing was lost of the original one. Like somebody went over there and recorded, they accidentally recorded, the Wonder Years over, their kid's t-ball game and went like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that, honey. And, it's like you had the most remarkable thing mankind had ever done. And you had one copy and somebody accidentally recorded over it on some old beta tape, Betamax or something. That always makes me go, come on.
Yeah, it's very suspicious. Yeah. I mean, again, why wouldn't they want those recordings out? And I can't remember the guy's name. I know he was on Rogan that, dispels that they never went because of the Van Allen belt and all of that. It would be very easy to fund a misinformation agent like that. The government has done that many times. There's a guy named Richard Doty who did that kind of work. He's sort of a reformed, in air quotes and like hardcore air quotes, CIA misinformation agent. So, and if you look on X at any given time, there's a couple of primary folks who come out there and debunk all the time, and they won't say who they're funded by. That's why I do the disclaimer. I just do it. If you can't do
that's
it,
smart of you. That's smart to do, because if you're funded by something, you're bought and paid for.
yeah, it's so easy. I mean, I could say those words out loud, truthfully, and it's no problem. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people cannot.
Well, see, and I buy into a lot of this with, okay, so the disinformation, the stupid things like our government saying they accidentally recorded over the footage. Bullshit. You didn't accidentally record over the footage. There's no way in hell you did that. So I kind of think to like what you said earlier, is there a moon conspiracy? Yes. What are they covering up? Because my main problem with we didn't land on the moon is, how did they convince? I mean, there must have been, I don't know how many people involved in getting us to the moon, 60,000, 80,000, 100,000 employees work. You know what I mean? It wasn't 5 people sitting there making a rocket and saying, okay, don't tell anybody about this. It was a whole lot of people. How do you silence that many people? How do you cover that grand of a thing up? But at the same time, there's all this other bullshit. It's like maybe we went, but a lot of what we see is not really what real footage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like maybe a lot of what they're showing us, like that lunar lander hunk of junk, maybe he isn't really the real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's all, we went, but something was off, so they showed us a bunch of junk, fake footage.
Yeah, one of the things in Darcy's documentary, Secret Space UFOs, is he goes through the images that they have in the archives, from the first lunar missions, and they're clearly doctored. He has an expert that goes through all the images. You can see the images, and what they're hiding is massive structures. You can say the same thing about Mars. And one of the ways, one of the pieces of evidence about intelligent life on the moon is remote viewers. Are you guys familiar with remote viewers?
Of course. Yes. We've had some on here
before.
before.
Famously, and the Hertogs also, back in the 70s, remote viewed Mars, and they were able to locate pyramids on Mars and the face on Mars. So there's a lot of evidence that points to the ability to remote view as a piece of information, right? It's another type of information that can be used. But that Secret Space UFOs, and it's a series, but the first one is the one that really freaked me out in my house. I was scared. I was all by myself. I ate these tacos and I was like, oh my God, the moon's not real. What are we doing? What's happening? If that's true, like what else is what are we dealing with here?
All I know is you keep going back to tacos and weird shit. So next time you have taco night, make sure you invite us, because we want some of these. We want some of these tacos, whatever the hell you're eating there. I don't have a card here for tacos, but I would like to get a taco card one day.
We have street tacos. We have birria tacos, which are sometimes
What are they?
Birria. It's kind of like this shredded beef that's in a consomme. It's like they're just real messy, and then the shells are kind of more fried. Birria. So, and then there's also the gourmet tacos, where they're putting chutney and all this other. The tacos here is like a spectrum of, delights. So, if you ever come to San Diego,
Makes sense.
Some good recommendations on tacos.
Yeah, if we come to San Diego, we're definitely going out for tacos and surfing with you.
Yes.
No telling what we're going to see.
San Diego, right?
So, Gutters, I didn't want to throw off your other thing. What was Ann's other question?
It was something about Greenland. What was it?
A UFO in Greenland, something like that. I was scrolling through trying to find it. Yeah, I missed that one. So maybe we'll find that question.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ann. Didn't mean to dodge you, brother. I'm a little bit behind on the
does
chat,
Tim believe? Tim, do you believe that there is a spaceship in Greenland?
I've never heard that before.
I haven't heard that.
It's new information. There is this claim by Ross Coulthart that there is a craft that was so large that they couldn't move it, so they built a building around it.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know if you've heard that claim. And then there are claims that we have somewhere north of 10 to 20 different types of crafts. There's been that claim out there. There's a lot of claims. Sometimes the evidence is pretty weak, though, unfortunately.
So so what's your belief on extraterrestrial life? Do you believe we have had, like, where do you stand on this whole thing? Do you believe, I'll make my question more precise here, but do you believe we have, like, currently living with us extraterrestrials, or do you more buy into the fact that maybe, society was formed way, 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 way back with aliens? Or you can go, are we the aliens? You know what I mean? Like, where do you stand on that whole, conundrum of ideas?
Yeah. It's really interesting. You guys keep asking me what I believe. I'm building an encyclopedia that's not supposed to be built on belief. So these are like...
Oh, that's true. No, that's true. But we also like personal... I think it also makes more people interested in you and what you're doing.
Sure. No, I'm happy to share. I just wanted to make that.
But you're right. Yeah.
When it comes to the nature of our reality, I think it's much more complex. And as was said earlier, not very many people understand it truly, because there's a lot more out there than our five senses can bring into our minds. And there's also a pretty big paradigm shift that I feel like is happening around consciousness. We used to think that the brain created our consciousness. We know that's not true. And if you really look into it, consciousness is foundational. So what that means is that, quantum physics, as you look at something, it is rendered from, a wave to a particle. So we are creating our reality through our consciousness. We have a collective consciousness that we're all sharing, and we're one bit or one tiny piece of that collective consciousness. Now, inside of that consciousness and that space, all types of things are possible. And there's a lot of evidence to point to that. If you just look at what Jeffrey Kripal and the Institute of the Impossible is doing down at Rice University, they have archives of 250,000 different experiences from people who have had supernatural experiences, and they pattern match across. So could some of that be cultural influence? Could some of it not? But yeah, I think that there's something out there, and that it's very real, and that the nature of it is unknown.
See, I always buy into the fact that, a lot of people, they go religion, or they go, different things like that we have to be the only people. And I think it's ignorant to think, and I am religious, so I don't want to take away from that either. But I think it's ignorant and, very human, and very, you're sitting there thinking that you are so above everything else as being a human. But I think it's pompous almost to think that you would be, out of all those stars, I mean, there's more grains of, there's more stars in the sky than there is grains of sand on the earth. So it's every star has its own solar system. And how can you possibly think that there isn't other life forms out there? Now, obviously you look up into the sky, it would take, trillions of years to get from one to the other, and that might be the closest one to us. But you can't think that we are the only life in this whole universe. There's just no way you can think that. And religiously, even, you can't think that, who are you to tell God not to create other people cooler than you?
Yeah, the most popular hypothesis, and the one that I grew up with, is they're from outer space. They're traveled here from another planet. Oh my gosh, how did they get here? How long did it take them? How far did they travel? Where are they from? And then there's the ultra terrestrial, which is that they've always been here. They've been here longer than us. They're hiding here among us. They're on the planet. They're living in our oceans. They're in mountain sides. They're under the earth, and and Antarctica and so forth, right? And then there's the future human hypothesis popularized by Michael McMaster's, right? That they're from the future and they're coming back to visit us. But there's many, many more, if you just think about spirits or angels or there's many, many different ways to sort of frame this up and think about this. But it's a constant throughout religions, throughout cultures, throughout time, that there's something other than us with us. It's not, it's and when it's right in front of you like that, sometimes it's easy to not see it, but it's really, there's a lot of evidence that points to the fact that we're not alone.
So do you get in the archives stuff like Tiamat and then the moons that were around it, basically the asteroid belt, which would be now, and then Mars. So they went from Tiamat, they lived there, and then they moved to Mars when Tiamat exploded, and then they came to Earth.
Oh man, that's a new. I'd love,
that's fascinating.
I'm doing this all day long, and I'm learning stuff. So this is great.
Okay, so what he's explaining there is if you look at every other planet, okay, and from the sun, every other planet, the math adds up between the distance from this planet, said Mercury to Venus, Venus to Earth, and then Earth to Mars, Mars. Okay, so they all add up, but there's that gap where with the whole science of the whole thing, with every other planet lining up, there's a gap. Where that gap is where the asteroid belt is. So like a destroyed, exploded planet is the asteroid belt. It lies exactly where in the distance between mathematically every... Am I explaining that right? Like in pretty layman's terms there, old man? Wait, you're muted, I think, Nathan.
Yeah, there's actually a moon, they call it a dwarf planet right now, called Ceres, that's actually in the asteroid belt. It's a fully formed dwarf planet. It's actually probably a moon of Tiamat that was there before. But like fools are saying, the math doesn't add up if there's no planet there. And it has to probably do... Sorry, I don't want to go into a long thing here. Every time the sun pulses back and forth, it does it really super slow because its time variance is different than ours. So it pulses out the field, the rings that go around it, and they push planets out. And what happens is if you get in the wrong zone, it's kind of like Venus is now, that you're turned sideways and that you're amplified in the amount of energy you're putting out. It's plasma physics 101. When you do that, it makes it spin faster. It goes at a rate it can't control. Unless it gets out of that zone, and it'll continue to be that way. It'll be the next habitable planet in the zone that comes up. So it makes a lot of sense when they say we started out on this planet that was in the Goldilocks zone, and then it moved out of the Goldilocks zone, got too much energy put into it, and then it started crashing into its own moons because of the energy levels. And then Mars became the Goldilocks zone. You know what I mean? And then it moved out until it wasn't, and the moons got destroyed because you see it all over the face of Mars. One of the moons got blown up. There's no way those two little asteroids they have is enough for that whole thing to work right. And if they fix that, that's probably be a habitable planet. And then you get to Earth where it has the right moon, right? So it's in the very habitable zone. It wouldn't be a far stretch to say we started out a long time ago on a far out planet and moved inward. Even with rocket technology, we'd still make it between, each one of the planets if you went in a row. And you could do it on a simple, propulsion like we have now.
Well, I just hope we don't start moving the other way soon, because I don't want to live on Uranus.
Yeah, nobody does.
Dun-dun.
They say it stinks like shit too.
right. Yeah, the sulfur there is really bad, I heard. Yeah, interesting topics. Now, you've never looked into that, Tim? You've never looked into that with the missing planet and that? That's fascinating too. That's a whole rabbit hole to jump in. I recommend you do, because it's a pretty cool whole thing there.
I was taking notes during that. Yeah, it's super interesting. Yeah, I did hear Terrence Howard have a similar theory that planets as they move away from the sun, become the habitable planet. So it used to be, Venus, then Mars, then us, then, so that there's a legacy there. But, and I know that there's been discussion about the moons of Jupiter, being, having volcanic activity. But, I think there's a lot more to outer space and that we don't know,
Well,
But I love
and
this
you know
story.
what's really scary?
I wrote it down. I'll check it out. I love this.
What's really scary is we know more about outer space, or so they say, that we know about outer space than we know about the oceans on Earth, which is really, really weird. And, you see a lot of those things with the UFOs or UAP, whatever you want to call them, coming out of the ocean. You hear all those stories about that. What do you know about that? Because that always kind of fascinates me.
Yeah, there's been a lot of claims about underwater bases, right? So I'm here in San Diego. Catalina is a specific hot spot. If you were, on the bluffs there in Pacific Palisades, they talk about things all the time being sighted there. There's a really...
You can't get tickets to the Catalina wine mixer, can you?
Yeah, I wish I could.
No kidding.
But there's a lot, I'm in San Diego, so there's a lot of talk about underground bases around Malibu. There's a famous in this space lawyer, Danny Sheehan, who's come out and said that there's one down off of Baja. So there's been talk like this. There's the Hertogs have said that there's one outside of Japan. There's a lot of claims about underwater bases, and I mean it makes no sense that we wouldn't map the ocean floor. I mean, why wouldn't we do that unless we didn't really want to or weren't able to?
Well, I think we're just now, getting that technology because, you're seeing all these new, things. And, so you have all these, science, science is now supposed to be one of those things that is decided upon. I always thought science was a progressive thing that changed as time went and we learned. But over the past, we won't go into all that, but you're seeing these formations, these cities, all these different things underwater now with use of like LiDAR and all these new technologies that we're finding these structures, we're finding these things underwater. So I mean, who knows? Maybe we didn't have the technology.
I don't believe that because just think about it this way: we're 40 years behind the military at all points. Right. So a submarine would have already had it and already known what the ocean floor is. I mean, there's no question about it. They have to know. They have to navigate it.
Yeah, but then you go back to that thing. If the government's 40 years ahead, they can't release the information saying what they know because that gives away the fact that they have technology that is more advanced than the other country, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it does, span down the chain, but it is interesting. I like all the new stuff they're finding, and I like the thing about like the spaceships coming out of I say spaceships, but the ships coming out of the water and things like that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, there's a number of documentaries about it. My favorite sleeper UFO movie, or one of them, is Wakanda Forever, because it literally talks about a race of super beings that live on the earth among us, that have their own agenda, doing their own thing, and it's really.
It was called what now?
Wakanda Forever. Yeah.
Never see. Is that the Black Panther stuff? Is that?
It is. It's the Black.
Okay. Yeah. I've never seen those, but okay, cool.
No,
just so I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's a UFO. It's a non-human intelligence UFO movie, is what it is. But it's one of those things. What were you going to say? I cut you off though. Sorry about that, old man.
Oh no, I was just going to say about the pyramids in Alaska. You know what I mean, being hidden, stuff like that throughout the world. China, that there's hundreds of pyramids in China. They look like mountains. And they said that most of them, by the way, if you went to Mexico and you saw one of their pyramids, it would look like a mountain until they uncovered it, and it actually turned into a pyramid. So they're saying don't discount these structures all around the world. You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you a little bit of information. It's basically a high voltage capacitor is what it is when you put it all together and you understand the material science of it. and it has to do with telluric currents in the ground and growing, massive amount of crops and things like that. So, yeah, and they put up the little, I don't want to say it, the little obelisk around it because they draw lightning in. So, yeah, you draw it in, you put it in capacitance, and then it slowly goes out, and you can actually make fertilizer from the Great Pyramids. I don't know if you knew that. For the structures, the way that they're built and everything like that, and that's one of the biggest things. So, anyway, it just... But it goes to UFO culture and stuff like that, too. You know what I mean? If you actually understood it.
I've heard that theory that it's a power generator. I think that's plausible.
Here's some. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Mr. Producer works hard in the back. Big shout out, everybody in the chat. Make sure you do thank Mr. Producer. He's working hard in the background here, putting up these clips as we're talking about them. So we don't want to let him go unthanked. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Yeah, he's throwing up these images while we're talking. That's how fast he is. That's why I pay him the big bucks.
Nice.
Yeah, he's about to send me a text, cuss me out. But yeah, the pyramids, they fascinate me. I really want to take a trip to Egypt. I keep trying to put one together with people, but most people are scared to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a region.
Yeah.
I know. See, everybody says yeah. Would you go? Would you go to
100%.
Egypt, Tim?
Yeah, I would go. I just tell everybody I'm Canadian. I'm just kidding.
So now you like the Canadians. I heard your Canadian comment earlier. Canada.
I would actually never do that, but I'm just kidding.
We'll just have to bribe him with some tacos and get some tours.
Right, exactly.
I would love to go to Egypt. I'm going to plug the Hertogs again. They're Egyptologists. Back in the 70s, they actually remote viewed and helped locate the tomb of Osiris.
Oh, wow.
Using remote viewing. Yeah, so I agree with you. And those images, I love that he's putting up these images while we're talking. But the new LiDAR that's coming out and ground penetrating radar that shows the superstructure below the pyramids, I think is just really fascinating.
Do you see the labyrinth?
And the labyrinth too. Yeah. Jay Anderson, there's a bunch of people that are on that. Yeah. That are really, breaking that old guard. There's a infrastructure here that is built to protect these secrets, and
anybody who asks questions is shot down. Pseudoscience. Right. They come out and it's like, well, wait a minute. I mean, like I said before, science is supposed to be a constantly evolving thing. Mm-hmm. You learn. There's nothing wrong with going back and saying, you know what, that stuff we found in 1872 that was uncovered is not the first thing that we're going to find. I mean, when they found the Sphinx and the pyramids, like I've been to, Borobudur Temple. They didn't find that. That's one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen in the middle of nowhere in a jungle in Java, Indonesia. Second largest religious, thing in the world, built in, like 500 AD or something like that is when they say it was built. They didn't even know that was there till like the early 1900s, mid 1900s. They didn't even know it was there. And it's one of the most fascinating, enormous things I've ever seen in my life. And it's like, they just found more in South America. I don't want to say outside of Brazil, something like that. You got the Nazca lines. I mean, they didn't even know about those until the 1940s, until somebody flew a plane over it and went, holy shit, what are all these, huge spiders and all these lines and stuff like that? And now they act like, nope, can't find anything new. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, well, why not?
Yeah, they're breaking down these old paradigms, and it really is the information age. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. There's just as much misinformation as information, but the access to information, the number of researchers that are going out and doing their own research and looking into things, and getting a YouTube channel and a platform and building an audience is it's incredible. It's really a revolution.
So would you say you more try to put out all the information and let the viewer decide what they want to believe? Is that kind of how you present that?
Yeah, I mean, the service that we're providing to the community is really a place where you can look at information that has been vetted by a human expert. It has been put through a speculation labels. It's been put through a taxonomy, from verified down to hoax with misinformation and legend and folklore, all in between, so that you can look at the individual claims and decide for yourself. But really, we're evidence based. We want sensor data. We want documents. We want eyewitnesses. We want materials. If we have that type of evidence, then we can say that it's a verified claim. So it's really that type of service to help discern. Because you started right off. Oh, what about Lou? What about Greer? It's like, well, they're controversial figures. Their claims are not all verified.
Right.
And that's the service, because if you go on X or if you go anywhere else, if you try to use, ChatGPT on your own or something like that, it's going to be really difficult to understand.
Well, and AI is a weird thing. Like, I host a lot of trivia nights in bars, and things like that. People are always coming up saying, your answer's wrong. Your answer's wrong. And I'm like, well, that's because you Google it and you're going off the AI answer. Now, all AI does is it goes and searches what people say. So a lot of times, AI is going to give you the wrong answer just because that's the
most common.
That is the most, exactly. That is what somebody else has said, somebody bigger on a platform or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean it's real. It's like I had a trivia question the other night.
Scary.
And it was like alphabetically, who is the last president, or, who's the last president, alphabetically. Well, I typed that into my thing, and wording things different make a difference, but the way I typed it in, it said Donald Trump, and it was like, no, that's not, that's not at all true. I don't know why it said that, but that's what the answer AI gave. I watched people turn into answer of Donald Trump, then I told them to get the hell off your phones and quit cheating. You know what I mean? I'm like, you morons.
I love that. I think that's
you
awesome.
know what I mean? Like, I'm going to ask that question just because you typed it in the way I worded it, and it said Donald Trump. Trump is not the last alphabetical president, by surname. So AI is not a thing to be trusted, and I hate when people go off of that.
Yeah. So what we've done, and we're using AI. Look at the website name, right? So what we've done is we've created a content generator that is that generates content based on specific prompts, and we've created a specific agent that is pointed to sources other than like Wikipedia and some of the sources that typically pop up, right? And then we have another agent that we put the content through for fact checking, and it gives us a score. So we know from there, has it been fact checked? Is all this? And what we mean by fact checked is there a validated source, or is this an unvalidated claim? Is what we're saying truthful, or did AI make it up? Those basic sort of checks, right? And then we have, again, our community, and we have folks go through who are experts who, have spent a lot of time in the UFO space, and they look through and make sure that we're not missing anything, or if there's anything in there that needs to be added. Once we go through that process, we have an editing agent that edits the content, and then we have an editor. And I can tell you my editor that I have, I have a corporate research background. He has a background of publishing encyclopedias. So he's very particular about the way that he sources, like if we include a map, or if we point to a particular video, or if we have an image, all of these things have to be in a particular way to meet editorial standards. So, and those standards are all published on the site. So, AI is a fantastic tool and force multiplier, but you have to be very careful with that type of content, because it can be completely made up.
Do you have a woo section?
A woo section.
Woo. Woo. Is it woo?
Woo is, okay, woo is, I don't have, there's not a lot out there that's woo to me, right? Not only am I in San Diego.
I'm still confused about this woo thing. Even though you explained it, I'm still confused.
Like an editor could throw it out, but in the woo community, they're like, well, that's real. So that's why I wonder.
Right. Yeah, I mean the real thing is such a funny kind of benchmark, right? Because again, it goes back to what can you validate, what can you verify? You know, if it can't yet be verified, then it's not. We hope that it is. There's cases out there that I wish had better verifiable information. We know it exists. It's just not in the public domain where we can point to it.
So the woo's out, but you guys keep it on file, like for later, in case it becomes verifiable.
Yeah, and you guys have gotten the woo out of me because most of it lives inside my head. I don't put it into the encyclopedia, but like you keep asking me my personal beliefs, so then you get into I'm in the woo. I mean,
I was asking about the encyclopedia part, like because there's got to be a section where you go, it's not good enough yet, but in possibility in the future it could come back.
We say that. We say that a lot. Yeah. Well, there's actually a section that we have. What could make this case verifiable? What's needed next? That kind of thing.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, can I show you guys something really funny because you mentioned something?
If it's funny, I want to see it. Yes, definitely.
Well, I know you can't really see. This is
hold it closer. Hold it closer to the camera.
Closer. It disappeared.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Put it in front of your face. Oh,
yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
This is my UFO trivia game.
Oh man,
I like it.
It's a UFO disclosure game. So we have about 500 questions that I wrote in here. There's, it's gameplay. Nice. Oh. Yeah. So
yeah, there's the glare. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a little. Hold on. There's like what is it? It's a file cabinet. All the cards are.
So you made this?
Like little files. Yeah, we're doing our Kickstarter. As soon as I can get through
this. Dude, that's awesome.
This conference. So this game is coming out. We're going to do a Kickstarter probably in February. So you'll see more about this too.
That is amazing. Hey, so what I'm going to do here real quick, I'm dropping the StreamYard link right here. If anybody in the audience would like to come up and ask a question, Gutters, old man, if you want to do that as well, I am dropping the StreamYard link out there. Once again, thanks everybody watching right now. A bunch of people watching in here across all platforms. We are, like I said, we're on X on 2 different channels. We're on YouTube on 5 or 6 different channels as well, streaming out right now. We appreciate, everybody spending their Friday nights with us. So thanks a lot, everybody. We do, got quite a few people in here watching. That is absolutely awesome. Thanks for being here. Please make sure you have hit that thumbs up button. No matter where you're watching at, we appreciate you. Happy Friday night. And what's up, Belt Loop? Good to see you in chat as well. A bunch of people coming in. I can't keep up with the chat. Just being honest, we got C Bagley in here. Good to see you, C Bagley. We've got there's been a whole lot of people. We got Jesse coming in here, working in the ER. Says hi, TF and chat in the ER, but listening in, working in the ER. She works there, not there, so we don't have to pray for her or anything. But yeah, thanks a lot, everybody, for being here. So I did just drop the link there. I will pin it, but pinned at the top of mine right now is, and I'll drop that again here in a moment, just in the regular chat, but for UAPedia and the link to go to your conference. So tell everybody about your conference one more time, because we got new people tuning in. So let them know what you got coming up next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Next Sunday, January 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're hosting a free online conference called UAPCon. You can go to uapcon.com and register for free. You'll get the link beforehand and you can join. So this conference is really, furthering the conversation beyond sort of what you saw in Age of Disclosure and government disclosure, nuts and bolts. And it's talking more about the nature of reality, the experiences and what happens in different type of non-human intelligence experiences and UAP experiences, and then the implications of UAP on society, on culture, on spirituality, religion, and then ultimately on science. So we have our closing keynote fireside chat with Dr. Thomas Brophy from IONS, which is the Institute of Noetic Science. Dr. IONS was started by the 6th man to walk on the moon, which is a trivia question in my game here. Anyone know who the 6th man to walk on the moon was?
Oh, no. God, who is that? I wouldn't even
Started
know.
IONS, the Institute of Noetic Science here in Encinitas, California.
Who is it?
Edgar Mitchell. So Edgar Mitchell had really some supernatural experience, and was completely obsessed with the noetic sciences, which is work by Dean Radin. If you know Dean Radin, Lynn McTaggart, these are where people meditate for a certain outcome, and it happens. So this is crops, it could be crime, all types of things. Ions was just featured in Dan Brown's latest book, The Secret of Secrets. It's at the center of Dan Brown's new book. I was a big Dan Brown fan. So anyway, we're hosting this conference. It's free. Sign up for it. There's a ton of really cool people. Rizwan Virk, who wrote the simulation hypothesis. Paul Hynek, who's J. Allen Hynek's son, who came up with the close encounters, first kind, second, that taxonomy, third kind, and was featured in Close Encounters of the Third Kind by Steven Spielberg.
Great movie, by the way.
Hertalk. We have, oh my gosh, it's the lineup is just incredible. So,
well, that's awesome. Hey, we do have a caller coming on here, so I'm going to go on ahead and bring them up and see what they got for us.
Man,
welcome in, Dreadly. How you doing tonight?
Oh, what's up, man?
Nothing, Dreadly. How you doing? Hope everything's going well with you, my friend. So what kind of questions you got here for UAP? Tim.
Oh, nothing yet. I've just joined. I have no idea what's going on yet. This is the UFO guy you were talking about last week, right?
Right. So we're talking UFOs. What do you think about UFOs, Dreadly?
It's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think about? Have we been to the moon, Dreadly?
Yeah, we've been to the moon.
Okay, he's definitely a moontard. So,
Oh my God.
we got a lunatard. Lunatards, yeah, we'll call you one of those. I always like the people that come out there, and I always joke, because one of my favorite people are the flat earthers. Flat earthers crack me up, and I like the way they actually have the thing to where they tell people who think the world is round, they call them globetards. And that cracks me up. I think that's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. They actually have a term called globetard to talk about people who think the world is round.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So what do you think? We got the founder of UAPedia up here with us, Dreadly. What do you got for him? Come on, you got to have some kind of cool question.
I'm trying to figure out what it is. From what I was listening to, UAPedia AI, I mean, what is it? Because I just joined the stream, so I have no idea.
Go ahead, Tim. Take it away. Take it away, sir.
It's some kind of AI generative platform for extraterrestrial stuff.
That's right. That's right.
It's an encyclopedia for UFO information.
Okay.
That's right. Trusted source. That's
there
right.
You go.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Do you Baker's texting me anyway. Do you like Tim? So when you do your conference, where all are you putting this out at, as far as like social media and stuff like that? Because I'll definitely repost it on X and stuff like that for you. Make sure I get it out there. Yeah,
my technical guy is I think he's using the same platform, so I guess I better get used to it. But it's going to go out on. We have a YouTube channel. We also have X and Instagram. I think it's going out on a couple of other platforms as well. So it'll be streaming there, and then we're planning on, of course, we'll have probably around almost 4 or 5 hours of content that we're gonna put out on our YouTube site and on our X profile. We're UAPedia _ on X.
Well, hey, do this in the private chat. Put your links in the private chat right there. Okay. And we'll drop it into all these channels right here so people can sub up to those. So if you can do that here, here right now, that would be cool. We'll copy paste those and post everything into the live chats going right here. And I'll add it to like the description of the video and stuff like that for people watching later. They'll have, the ability to, to link up to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to find you on the gram, but there's a
the gram.
I'm not sure.
That's UAPedia _
So Dreadly, how's the world holding up for you, sir?
It's
Under.
we're making it.
Yeah, there you go. Been thinking about you a lot. I hope you're doing well. So what do you think, Dreadly? Do you believe in UFO? Like, outer, people coming here, seeing us, or do you think people came here before, or not people, but aliens, or are we the aliens? What do you think, Dreadly?
I don't know. I see a lot of. I used to get real big into like the Navy pilots and like Air Force pilots, seeing a lot of stuff, and I used to watch a lot of the documentaries on it. But I don't know. It's a strange topic.
Yeah, it's a fun topic. What do you think, old man? Where are you falling on this?
On the UFO thing?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's people? Do you think we're being visited now by people who came here way before, or do you think it's new stuff coming in, or do you think it's stuff reemerging that's already been here? Yeah,
I see two sides to it. Either we're planet jumping and we don't know it, or we actually got to the point where we got to the civilization got to the point where they can get outside of the Earth itself and the sun's radius. And thinking about it, we're in a vortex. You just have to go the other way in the vortex and you arrive there quicker. So the amount of distance between the planets is irrelevant when the time's less. So it's very easy to get to the next solar system. But is it habitable? Does it have resources at it? You know what I mean? It could be a situation like that where they're on solar system to solar system. So it is interesting to look at it that way. I like both. But then, to be honest with you, a little green man showing up in front of my house with a big UFO would just be totally awesome. Like, I would be like, dude, let's go. Like, what do you need?
You want to hear that guy come up
Dude,
with
let's
nanu?
Yeah,
Nano,
dude, we're hot rodding the universe at this point, man. If somebody shows up in a UFO, dude, I'm taking the keys. We're going joyriding. We're getting around it.
That's hilarious. I love that. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, I like it too.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's always fun. I don't know if I buy into a lot of, and I've been watching a lot of series and
coming with you.
Right, there you go. And I've been watching a lot of things about like the rebuild of societies and things like that lately. And there's a lot of fascinating stuff, and I do believe that civilizations have come and gone many times in our past, and we are just now re-earthing them, and finding them, digging deeper, and there is something bigger to our history. Goes way back further than what we know, is my opinion.
Well, what do you think, UAP? Do you think, like, when they created Space Force, do you think it was for a extraterrestrial threat or for space reconnaissance?
Yes.
Yes, just yes.
I love it.
Yeah, I think both. Yeah.
You think both? Like, so you really think there is an extraterrestrial threat? And I hate to ask you, like, what do you think? I mean, all the time when you stated over and over and over again, hey, I'm making a goddamn thing. But yeah, we like to be personal with people. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Right.
It's fun to be personal.
Yeah, I think that it's an interesting concept that. So in Greer's camp, there are only benevolent ETs. In Elizondo's camp, they are a threat, imminent threat. So who do you believe on that? Is it somewhere in between? Is it both? I think Space Force is an interesting reaction to sort of, where we are in defense and this kind of thing. If you're monitoring space, you're likely seeing things that you can't explain.
Well, I guess what I meant to say by it is, do you think it's used for extraterrestrials, or do you think it's more to do reconnaissance on other countries? I guess that's the way I should have worded it.
Yeah, then
I would.
My answer is both. Still both. I think it's used for both. Yeah.
So do you buy into a lot of like what do you think about the dark side of the moon?
I think it's.
That's a great album. I love that. I've listened
Exactly.
100 times at least. Yeah. The dark side of the moon. according to the astronauts that went there, they heard eerie music, they saw lights, they saw structures. It's interesting that the moon doesn't rotate and it's locked in its orbit the way that it is. It's something that we can only speculate about. I think one of the things that's really interesting is that, there are laws limiting the size of telescopes that individuals can own.
And why would that be?
Why would that be? So, there's a lot of amateur astronomers out there that start to push on this. And, that's why they're looking at 3i Atlas. They have better images than NASA does. That's why, when these amateur astronomers point towards the moon, they see structures and things that don't make sense, like the craters all being uniform versus, at an angle. There's lots of anomalies. So you really like the moon though, right? This moon one has it's something that you're really interested in.
Is that true? They really limit the size that you can. Is that true?
Yeah. I'm not Googling right now, but yeah, you could fact check that. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's weird.
You learn something new every day, don't you, KJ?
I'm telling you. That's crazy.
Oh well, thanks everybody for coming in. I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. Going down. I know I'm running behind. Trying to catch up with all the chat. Good to see you in there. All kinds of people trying to highlight your comments. Let everybody know that we do appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot, everybody, for coming in. So we are gonna be wrapping this up soon. Dreadly, my friend, you got any last questions for UAP?
No, that was it. I was just coming in to say hello.
All right. Well, hey, we will hang out in the back, for a few minutes after the show. Feel free to,
I'll hang
pop
out.
back in or just, you know what I mean, Dreadly? You're more than welcome to pop back in and say hey to us in the back after the show. Always love hearing from your brother. Appreciate you coming up. All right. Thanks a lot. There we go. Dreadly checking in with us. Thanks a lot, Dreadly. UAPedia, Tim, going ahead one more time. I know this sounds redundant and over and over and over again, but we have new people coming in. We have new people, blah, blah, blah. Before we wrap this thing up, please tell everybody once again about everything you're doing. I mean, I know it's like you already said it, and I feel like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be an asshole, but we do have new people coming in. And we want to drop your links, and I think that's going on right now. People are dropping your links right now. So go on ahead and tell everybody what you got coming up, what you got.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. I don't mind repeating it all. So we have UAPedia, which is our online encyclopedia with case files, biographies, historical reviews, in-depth articles, dossiers that have all been fact-checked and put through our claims taxonomy and speculation labels. So that's out there. It's free. It's open source. We're still in our beta phase, so you're going to see a lot of improvements come through on the website as we work on this. And then on January 25th, we're hosting UAPCon, which is an online free conference that has a number of different academics. Nearly everybody who's in the conference is a PhD, and they're speaking about the nature of reality. They're speaking about the experiences and what the evidence shows for experiences, and then they're looking at the implications of non-human intelligence and the phenomenon on society, on culture, on spirituality and religion, and ultimately science. So that's coming up. It's all free. It's open source. All you have to do is go to the website and click register, and we'll get you all set up with the link. It's going to be really great. And we're going to host one of these conferences, like these free conferences, once a quarter. And we're hoping to have Old Man on, because that's going to be really cool.
You need to get this guy on here. He's a freaking genius, man. He makes me look dumb every time I talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, within
It's
the US
true.
community, there's not very many
It's true.
people who can speak to plasma physics. And it's a core fundamental part of the UAP lore, is these things are run in an energy bubble. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What does that actually mean? And so you could really speak to that. And I think it'd be great to have you be a part of that conference when we whenever we spin that one up.
Right on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing. Oh, Nathan, old man, he's taught me a lot of things, and he does fascinating stuff all the time. And he has, meeting him was a godsend to us because we like to talk about all kinds of stuff and run our mouths, but we don't know what the hell we're talking about. So every now and then, it's a good thing to have somebody who is actually smart, not just absolute morons like us. So, old man would be a hell of a person for you to contact there, Tim.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I learned a lot tonight. It was really great. Thank you guys for having me on. It was awesome.
Hey, you're welcome back. You're welcome back anytime. I know I have already signed up for your thing on, it's the 25th, right?
The 25th, next Sunday.
Right.
Yep.
So I expect to get an email, correct?
You will. Yep.
Okay, so everybody I'm going to go on ahead and drop that again here. This right here is the link to UAPCon. And this will also, I think if you go on it and search that, I mean, they can go back and hit and, see your website and all that jazz right there as well. So, if they go to this, they can see everything. But this is the link to UAPCon right there where you can sign up at the bottom. Y'all, please do register to this. Show this guy
and it's
some love.
It's a free conference, like on like.
Have you signed up yet, KJ?
Not yet. Well, not yet, but yes, I've already. Yes.
But you will.
I'm going to. Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I've already signed up. I signed up last night, I think. And I think his, hopefully, I do think your Twitter and your Instagram and stuff like that links were dropped as well. So, hopefully everybody go over there and check you out, man. I'd really like that. You're a good guest. And I'm going to come surfing with you. If I go out there and meet up with my buddy over there.
Dude, I hope he does. I'd love a video. It'd be hilarious.
You going to go surfing?
That would be
with
awesome.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
KJ, the friend I'm talking about, right, Adam?
Yes, I figured. Yeah,
right, exactly. He's begging me to come out there to San Diego.
I mean, you should. The years are ticking by, bro. You got to do it.
I know I'm 39 like the rest of you.
I know.
And it's getting harder to surf every day, but I guarantee I can still shred it.
I can't wait. I hope you do it.
The thing I don't like, so before we wrap this up, all right, so the thing I don't like, being like from South Florida and stuff like that, y'all's water is cold, man. I got to wear some kind of wetsuit and shit.
Yeah, that's different.
I know it's cold. What do you say about that, Tim? Like, how do you feel? You ever been to South Florida?
Yeah.
Was it weird for you to jump in the water and it's like bath water?
So warm, yeah. It's the water here, is right now it's around 62 degrees.
Yeah.
So you I saw a guy out there though today. He was in trunks. He was trunking it, and
that's crazy.
That's not me. I wear a wetsuit, but
see, wetsuits.
Yeah.
You gotta watch for the black demon out there. That shark they always talk about on the coast of California.
The black demon? Yikes. I just registered, by the way. So just saying.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
No, I look forward to that. I think it's going to be fun. I think I'll definitely be tuned in. I'll be checking it out soon. Now, let me ask you this. What platform are you presenting this on? So how is it going? Is it on like a separate, like an OTT kind of platform, or is it going out on you know what I mean? Is it on a YouTube channel, or like where are we watching this?
It'll be on YouTube. Yeah, okay. I know you saw me fumble around trying to get my volume correct for this thing. So you're asking me technical questions now. So
you need a producer like that. Like that.
So I know my partner's using StreamYard. We have a YouTube channel. I know it's going to be streamed on a number of different platforms. It's going to go live on X and Instagram and YouTube. I think there's more, but I don't know for sure. I should probably know that before I come on a show, but we'll send you the link. You'll have the link. You'll be able to see it.
Yeah, make sure, definitely make sure you do that, because, I will definitely share it out on YouTube, share it out on Twitter, share it out on all that stuff. So, the night before or something like that, when you have all the information, just text me. You got my number. Just text me, let me know the information, and I'll spread that out for you too. You know what I mean? We like to help people out, and yeah, you know what I mean? Spread the love. So definitely send me all the information. I'm sure, Gutters will do the same. Old Man will do the same. KJ will do the same. You know what I mean? We'll all push that out for you and help you, get your thing out there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I really do appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
don't be shy. Yeah, you know what I mean? That'll be cool.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Yeah, we're trying to get, we're relatively new. We just launched in November. So we're still building out our all
your babies.
We're babies. We're just getting started. So we're looking for people to follow us on Twitter for all of the exciting things that are going to happen. And, we appreciate the community, coming together the way it has. We've had so many people contact us wanting to help and write articles and, and fact check and help us produce videos. It's been really great. We've had a really great response from everybody. So despite what you see on Twitter, there's good people out there. There's community. There are people who, aren't just there to, stir up dust or whatever.
Right. And I do like the thought process of putting it out there and let people decide. I don't like people saying this can't be real because I don't agree with it. This can't be real because I don't agree with it. Here's the goddamn information. Y'all do with it what you will.
That's
and,
right.
I do kind of like that. And, some people are idiots and they're going to buy into the wrong information. I might be an idiot and buy into the wrong. You know what I mean? I might be the idiot. Hell, my name's Traveling Fools. I got it. I got fool in my name. So you know what I mean?
I concur.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you just met me, KJ. So
Yeah.
we got that. So, Tim, any last words before we wrap this thing up?
I just really appreciate being on the show. It's a lot of fun. You guys got a lot of my personal beliefs out of me.
Yay.
I like it. We ring you out like you know what I mean?
Which was
Dig
kind of
deep.
fun to share. It's kind of mind blowing to me that this started with the trivia game. And then now, we have a website, an encyclopedia, we have a conference, and I still haven't really done the game yet. So that's sort of the next thing. But to be on a show and being able to talk about this and just, have an open forum and communities really means a lot. So I really appreciate it.
So, have you been on a lot of shows?
No, I was on a trivia show.
Right. Well, I watched you on our buddy, our mutual friend's channel over there, well known.
Yeah.
And that was cool. He's a super cool guy, and I guess that's how you hooked up with us, correct?
That's right. So I've done well known, and now I've done this show. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's all you've done. Okay, cool.
But I have
Cool.
a
Well,
feeling after this conference, it's going to be a little bit different. I don't, once Jeff Nucitelli opens up the conference and people realize, we'll announce that next week. It hasn't even been announced yet. Things are going to change.
Yeah, I looked at that. Some of those people are big name people. I did
They're
look
really
at some
big
of your
name.
guests.
They're really
Some of them. I mean, they've hundreds and hundreds of thousands of YouTube subs and hundred. I mean, some of these people are really big people in the world of this. So you're gonna blow up. Your thing is gonna blow up. And I want you to look back years later, and I challenge you to look back years later and say, you know what? I never had more fun on a panel than I did coming over here to Abbinormal, where they just joked around and asked me about my personal beliefs, whether or not we landed on the moon.
Yeah. No, it's been great, and I do think you're right about that. I think it, in our friend group, in our consciousness club, we talk about being pre-famous. There's a bunch of people in that group that are doing really amazing things, and we talk about that a lot. We have friends of ours that are coming out with a documentary in the spring called Frequency, and I just saw an early screening, and it was absolutely incredible. So there's this concept of being pre-famous. I think is pretty funny. It's we'll see.
Well, don't forget about us when you're big and famous, and I text you and be like, "Hey, man, can I come up on your show?"
Help us.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget about us, but about us peons. When you become famous, and You've got crazy hair and you're saying aliens like what's his face on Ancient Aliens, Sergio or whatever the hell his name is. I love that guy. One of the few people, I've got like 5 people who love to meet in my life, but that's one of them. Like, goddamn, I love that guy. He's cool as shit.
Yeah.
What the hell
You
was
had
his
me
name?
sold on the Art Bell thing. I'm just such a huge Art Bell fan.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I grew up on it. I remember back in the day, late at night, sitting there, trying to moving one of those old radios with the antenna, with the aluminum foil on top of it, and you'd be hitting it on this one, but now the Earth's moving, so I'd have to like turn the radio, turn the antenna, trying to get. Oh, now I'm tuning in Chicago. Now I'm tuning into you know what I mean, scrolling the dial. Oh my God, it's cutting out. I got to tune the radio. Oh my God, what good days that was.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Art Bell, and I think that talking.
Did George
about,
Norrie ruin it?
Yeah, I just listen to the Art Bell archives
Yeah,
now.
me too.
That's my thing. Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. I went to Contact in the Desert, which is really great. If you're looking for a community, if you've had an experience, and you want to look these people in the eye and see what you think, Contact in the Desert is a really great conference to go to. Here, it's a few hours away from me in Palm Springs. But I took an Art Bell book there because my daughter and I went, and he has a book. And so I took it there, and it was an icebreaker. I went and talked to all these people, and got their autographs. So like, George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, just all these guys, all the, Travis Walton was there. I have probably 100 autographs from a lot of people there. I was such a fanboy, and I was just running around this conference. I got to meet and talk with all these people because of this Art Bell book. It was such a great icebreaker because I was like, hey, have you seen this book? And so it was really great. And I have really fond memories of Art Bell. So
yeah, he's the god. He's the one who made me get into radio, made me get into even doing this. This is kind of my side hobby thing that I do on Friday nights just for fun with my friends. But, finding wonderful people like you is the reason we do it, man. Thanks so much for all your fascinating things. Hang out in the back for a second. We're going to wrap this up, but hang out in the back because we want to get a little more information from you, like your social security number and, your the first, name of your dog and, all those things they ask you when we need your credit scores. That being said, folks, thanks so much. KJ, any last words for these wonderful people?
Y'all, so glad you came out. Thanks so much. Honestly, it's so great to have everyone listening and commenting, and there was so much going on in the chat. I'm interested to chat with everyone about it. But anyway, thanks so much, Tim. It was a lot of fun. Interesting stuff that I'm not used to hearing or talking about. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.
There we go. KJ coming in. How about you, Gutters Pub? Gutters Pub, tell us what you got going on this week. Tell everybody about your wonderful, agenda.
You'll have to come Tuesday night and see what goes on, just to figure that out, because I still don't know. It's too early in the week, so
right.
We'll see. Come hang out Tuesday night.
All right, Old Man Builds, what you got coming up, brother?
I'm going to be working with the Crypto Alchemist, man. We're going to be doing some alchemy and stuff like that. We're going to be breaking down a bunch of materials in water. It's going to be awesome. We got a big old microscope over here, man. We're going to be looking at every little piece of it as it's broken down. Not many people get to see that, so we're going to be one of the lucky ones to get to see exactly what it looks like on the channel. We're going to be doing a lot of high voltages and stuff like that with the RAV concept, the radio and art vehicle. Also, the monatomics right here. Basically, when you break down silver, break down gold to its base element. You know what I mean? So we got a lot of that stuff going on the channel. Yeah, Tesla coils.
There we go. We got that Tesla coils going in there. Tim, you really got to check out Old Man Builds. I mean, he demonstrates how Tesla coils work. He runs it from one thing to another, lights up all kinds of stuff. The man's a genius.
Tesla coils.
Yeah, we always make a joke he's saying testicles, but we are talking about Tesla coils, not his testicles.
You got a denture, it just comes out wrong.
Right, they do. His testicles do look great.
It does not. It sounds just fine. All right.
All right, so we're wrapping this up. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming in. Thank you, Tim. Everybody I'm going to post the link right here one last time. Link to UAPCon right there. I'm dropping it into the chat again. I will put it into the description of the video later on. Everybody do make sure, go over there and check that out. Tim, I thank you very much for coming up here and doing this with us. I hope you had fun.
My pleasure. Absolutely. It was a blast. Thanks so much.
All right, brother. Well, on that note, we're going to get out of here. Everybody do make sure you tell us goodbye in the chat. I'll play some kind of funky video, and we will get the hell out of here. Hell, let's go something with the moon. All right, see you guys later on. Happy Friday night. And a little programming update. Please make sure you tune in next week. We do have Tombstones coming on, really sweetheart, coming on with us to talk about her channel, what she's got coming up. Week after, we've got Nathan and Crypto Alchemist going to come on here and show us a whole lot of stuff of the inventions they are coming up with. I guarantee sparks are going to fly. So Tombstones, Crypto Alchemist, and our good friend that came on here before talking movies. We got a conspiracy movie night coming up here very soon. So anybody who does want to get in touch with us, wants to be a guest on our show, please go to www.abbinormal.com and just go in there and contact us. We appreciate everybody. God bless to all of you, and we hope everybody has a wonderful week. And we'll see you next week. Also, Friday night, we probably will be doing Trivia Night coming back this week over here on Traveling
Sunday
Fools
night.
channel. Or Sunday night.
night, yeah.
Sorry, Sunday. Be there or be dead. Sunday night, trivia, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Peace out. Good night, America. That's Art Bell, always said at the end of the show. Art Bell, the God. Thank you, Dispatch. Appreciate you, brother.
Please enjoy. Please enjoy.
Yeah, PJ, I definitely did see that, and I wrote that down. I do appreciate you putting it out there, because I really do want to go. Come with me, PJ. Come with me. It'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, thanks for putting it out there. I didn't want to ignore that. I did see that. So yeah, definitely noted. Thank you, PJ. Me too, Big Dog Mall. It's really nice not to be behind. Yeah, definitely. Love you, Big Dog Mall. Y'all have a great night.